guns. You see very hard Russian infantry just charging forward for the motherland. I'm moving more anti-tank guns up. Got T-34 sitting back here doing nothing. Another one over there. They're probably retreating. My army pushes forward here. And I'll make a very, very silly mistake in a second that I think many people will laugh at. But other than that, it was an alright. So as you see, at this one, Joe's screaming at me, capture the buildings, and yeah, he was right to do so. But here, I'm actually trying to build. When he was saying that, I was trying to build T-34s to come out and reinforce. As you know, they always respawn to the closest thing. So I then lose 3 T-34s and the armor base. So that was slightly stupid of me. As you see here, he's only got infantry now, so I'm in a little bit of trouble. And I only have 2 infantry, sorry, and he has a lot of infantry moving towards me and my anti-tank gun, so I just run out of there and wait for my T-34 army to reinforce, because there's nothing better than T-34s for reinforcements. Joe brings up a flak 88 here. I think this was because I was complaining that I was on lower money I think at this time. I think I was anyway. Well, that might be a different game. As I say, I've played like 4 or 5 games with him now. Yeah, I was complaining about low money or something like that, and he thought maybe that I was so low money that I wouldn't be able to hold this back, and that we'd have to build a new defensive line across these 2 bridges. But that wasn't the case, and I had enough money to reinforce a lot of T-34s. I doubt I told Joe I was low on money if I was able to reinforce that many T-34s, which I think I lose 2 or 3 here, very stupidly running them into. But I did definitely want to protect my AT, because that was the only thing protecting me from these Jacksons. And it's just, as you see here, not even destroying that after a full volley of 4 right there. T-34s are complete beasts. They can just eat whatever you throw at them, like, apart from outrange. Like, the only problem with T-34s is their range. They can be quite easily outranged. I tell these anti-tank guns to attack these Jacksons, and for some reason they just move to the right, which I wasn't too happy about. These the units of infantry moving up. So anyway, I think I've neglected Joe a little bit here. I haven't really cast what he's been up to. But yeah, Sturm Grenadier. We were talking about how cheap they were for how effective they were. They're a really good infantry unit. But Joe's being massacred by this armoured artillery that we still didn't realise these. We thought these were long toms actually throughout the entirety of the game. It wasn't until much later that we realised they were armoured and we should stop firing artillery at them. But yeah, finally, Rajay's, you know this guy. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Bringing some artillery across. But these are the 2 priests he had at the very start of the game. So I guess he's just hand me downs, trying to just desperately keep his ally in the game. But by this time, I mean, I was pretty confident that this next wave of T-34s, 6 T-34s, really good amount of I like to do in like round numbers of units. Something I like. If I'm going to bring up, say, 5 tanks, I'll normally try and cap it off at 6 and then attack. I don't know why. I think it's because of the formations that they make, or something to do with that. I don't know. I like to use a round amount of numbers. I think that's just some little weird thing that only applies to me. Here, this guy surrenders, and me and Joe were wondering, why did he just surrender? And then it wasn't until a little bit later that I actually realised why he does. This was his entire base, and I didn't realise. I thought he must have some sort of base back here. But no, this was his entire... Like, only looking at this replay, I was always wondering why he but yeah, I assume this was his, like, secondary base that he was, like... only just trying to defend just for the sake of defending his buildings and points. But no, this was his actual base. I just see 8 M40s. Such a horrible amount of units to have, even targeting these Tigers. I'm not sure why he targeted the Tigers. I mean, look, you can see uncamo buildings here. Eventually, I think I'll build somewhere up here as well. But yeah, and also you see you've got supply depots right here, but no, he's too busy targeting tanks. I see he's still trying to fire artillery at them, thinking they're long toms, because we've seen the T-95, so we know he has an experimental factory somewhere. So we're assuming they're like 50-50 maybe in composition for long toms, but yeah, we we really just weren't thinking this game. Stealthed T95's wrecking that Tiger there. Look at just bouncing off, ridiculously powerful tank, really cool looking tank as well. It's more like a tank destroyer than a tank, I'd say. I think maybe they should. I'm not sure what you have to do to sort of make a definition of a unit. So like to me, a tank destroyer. I guess to me, yeah, a tank destroyer is something that has a massive gun, quite low silhouette, and does not have a turret because the gun's so powerful. But I guess the Jackson has a turret. But yeah, I don't know. I'd call that more a tank destroyer than a tank. But I guess it's a tank destroyer that can kill infantry. Is that what we'll call it now? But yeah, my T-34s, I like how fast they are as well. It's pretty good. They're not massively fast. They're not like a Chaffee or something like that. But they have enough to outmaneuver T-95s and things like that and get out of their range quite quickly. I've just moved my entire army forward. I'm thinking there long term, so I'm thinking it'll take 3 seconds for my T-34s to destroy them. But then I'm thinking the T-95s are down here, so why anti-tank guns? Anyway, yeah, T-34's going to wreck any infantry that charges at me. I do sacrifice these in order to just try and get a kill. I'm not actually sure. Oh, they're decoys. I was about to say, I'm not actually sure. I don't actually even remember these units actually somehow sneaking around. But yeah, after that bombing attack, I pretty much neglected air completely after that. I managed to see here camos being rushed in, and there are some occasions where we've been caught without a ruse, and you see here he loses. No, this is not it. But I remember one part in this game where Joe was not happy that he lost a lot of his artillery, because at this point we still didn't realise these were armoured, and Joe did not know those were T-95s, so he would never have pushed up. But I should see Shermans and Jacksons. Here we go. Jacksons were the main threat here now. I knew he made them eventually, but fantastic unit in my opinion. Really good unit. This Tiger pushes forward, and I tried to get into a position to support it, but I only noticed it moving forward. As soon as the first volley of Jackson fire comes off, I think I notice it and realise it's dead. At this point I was like, Joe, move your tank back quickly, and then the third shot wheeled down a Tiger. Boom. And that was pretty much the end of Joe's support on this flank. Because now, me and him both actually were worried that these T-95s, well, these two units here were T-95s as well. And we didn't bother putting a spy down because we wanted the Ruses for camo. And yeah, so we were worried that they'd just be able to steamroll these Tigers. So I think now Joe is teching. No, he's not at the moment. No, he's building more artillery. I think at some point in the game we tech thinking that they have more T-95s than we did to King Tiger, and I just continue with T-34 production because I have the money to sustain it. And see, running low on depot money though. I'm not really one to be taking outlying depots because of bad experience in the past where I've taken them and then they've been stolen by a $5 or £5 or depending on what nation you play, I guess, infantry unit. But yeah, sometimes paratroopers just can really be a pain in the arse, and it's worth leaving units by depots if you're going to make them spread out. Like these depots here, I mean, if I would have had my way this game, which I normally do this, I send the PE8s out to the outlying depots, like these. Here, I think I hit, someone hits this depot eventually, but yeah, as you see, massive battle over here. Infantry line advancing, using the anti-tank guns to take out their anti-tank. I go for the base, and it goes quite well for me actually. Sturm Grenadiers being attacked by an M16. Joe wasn't too happy about that. He was saying it's a bit of an insult to him. But no, he said it was insult to injury because he saw himself as really struggling, even though he was playing actually really well. He had the entire left half of the map locked down, and he played very well. But here, this was like the major panic point for our team, at least at the game, where our bases went uncamoed. Joe's already got 3 admin buildings. I didn't even know he started making admin buildings this game, I'll be honest. But yeah, when our base went uncamoed and none of us had a ruse, you see that it gets really tense. Me and Joe will be like, how long have you got? How long till your ruse is ready? Even though we both know they should finish at the same time. But anyway, my tank's pushing forward, getting a quick kill on that secondary base. wasn't really that important. But I mean, it's points in the sort of timed. We knew we wanted to bring it out to a time because we didn't think we'd be able to beat them in a all-out attack because of these T95s. I mean, if they can make a Tiger retreat in one shot, that what are they going to do to a T34? They're going to go right through it and maybe get the one behind it or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I decide just to get out of here when I can. Now, I see this demoralising thing, and I say, okay, I need to put a Fanatic down. And the reason I put the Fanatic down was to stop them from retreating, or going into the retreating state, because if they start retreating, it slows them right down. And I think anyone who knows Ruse knows that even if your units are retreating, you've got to make sure that they don't get demoralised or something like that. So they get out there very quickly. That's good. He turns his T95s around for some reason. I don't know. I think this was a massive mistake on his part right here. He should have seen my team 34s coming into this next area, or at least seen this Tiger. This Tiger got to about here before it eventually turned around. And that was only because I think me and Joe, I was saying to Joe, don't waste any more Tigers. I'll slip my T34s around. But yeah, I mean, he also, as you see, like I said, panic moment when we realised he's actually got vision on our base. We're in trouble. So we like I said, we were still under the impression that these were long toms. Here we go, King Tigers. This was what our counter was going to be against the T95s. Although not a great counter to a super heavy. An advanced heavy is probably enough. But yeah, as you see, he starts targeting everything he can. I move these T34s forward. As you see, he's blitzing, but he'll lose his blitz in a second, I think, when he leaves. I think that's the sector there. And he loses his blitz. And the blitz was the only thing that was going to keep those T95s in range. So I accidentally moved my units out of the forest, but it doesn't matter. But here we go, look at this. So now we've realised, wow, the M40s, how are they so good? And so we just keep charging. I think Joe puts a fanaticism down. Yeah, he does. And we just break through. And unfortunately, the shooting mechanic in this, the targeting mechanic, I should say, not shooting, puts preference on units that aren't retreating. So it took ages before my T-34s realised that they should be shooting to kill, not to make them retreat. But obviously, making them retreat, we've just retreated this entire army basically of artillery and put them out for at least, I think, a minute before they can get moved back up. Well, not even a minute. What am I talking about? It doesn't take a minute to come back around. Like a few seconds, we've taken him out and made him we pushed him back, and we saved these buildings here for now because he started targeting them. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing any shell holes or shell craters, sort of like that. Well, I lost quite a bit there actually. I lost a barracks and an artillery factory, but I lost that, and it was kind of annoying. But we've got the King Tigers now. As soon as I saw Joe's King Tigers, I was feeling pretty confident. I mean, because King Tigers, I mean, they're the king basically, aren't they? So it's pretty good. I also get anti-tank here because I was saying to Joe, I'm pretty sure an SU-100 could probably take on a T-95 toe-to-toe. Although I don't think toe-to-toe. I think I was feeling a little bit overconfident with our progress. So I was going to tech SU-100s, sorry, T-95. Well, they got T-95s, but I was trying to take SU-100s. Although they couldn't probably go toe-to-toe. They could probably give them a good run for their money and at least, make them retreat, or if I have enough of them. And I was so stupid here to move my units too quickly out. He sees them, he fires on them. I panicked and tried to grab my entire army. But then I was thinking, wow, why aren't we using bombers? Well, no, sorry, I wasn't thinking that. Joe was thinking that, and he was on me for it the entire game. Like, do you have any spare bombers? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. And then I kept saying, do you want me to make you some? And he kept going, yeah. And then I kept forgetting about it. And Joe's quite a polite guy, and he didn't bring me up on it at all. But here we were expecting splits they'll dominate. But then I realised light bombs, they're not going to do anything. Completely just wasted